So my senior year of high school, I had probably applied to 12 schools all over the country. I was extremely indecisive. I had no earthly idea what I wanted. So the first thing I got in the mail was, first thing I read was Catholic University for Independent Thinkers. And of course, immediately you're like, independent thinker, no, not really. But that phrase just kept coming back to me in a way. And my friends would make fun of me for it. They'd be like, yeah, I'm like an independent thinker, you're totally gonna end up at UD.
This adventure to
We are a unique school. We have no aspirations to be like anyone else. There isn't an institution that compares to the University of Dallas in its fidelity to the church and its academic rigor.
The students and the faculty here love being here. There is great joy about being a part of the University of Dallas.
UD is so special, it's so incredible, and the reason is the people, it's the professors, it's the classes you take.
UD experience, you have the Catholic character, you have the core curriculum, the Rome campus, the community. It all comes together just to make the education that you receive a lot more than just intellectual. And so, you can go to a college and you can learn a career, or you can go to UD and learn how to live.
When they started this new university then, in 1956, we said first that we wanted to change Catholic education, and then as we examined our motives more and more with each other, we realized, no, we wanted to change the world.
I mean, I always knew that I wanted a core because I was interested in a lot of different disciplines in the liberal arts. I wasn't sure if I wanted to study philosophy or classics or literature, which is what I think I'm going to end up studying. But I knew I wanted the opportunity to take different classes and kind of put my feet in the water and see where I was most at home and which discipline.
No matter what your major is, you take these seminal classes in the core of Western civilization. So even though I'm a physics major, I took all these philosophy classes, these history classes, these literature, theology classes. There's one politics, one economics.
There's your language requirement, science, mathematics, and fine arts.
One of the things that I think we do right at UD is that we concentrate on primary texts. And a lot of the, study of great books tradition, liberal arts tradition, that happens elsewhere really focuses on secondary sources, so somebody's summary of Dante. But we focus on the original text.
These are the things that have informed the minds of Western man through the centuries. They're not just museum pieces, but on the other hand, they hold the key to growth in faith and growth in understanding in all matters.
It's like sitting down all of the great geniuses over history and getting to talk to them and getting to know what they thought about life, the universe, and everything.
Everyone takes the same 20 or so courses, right? And so any professor in any discipline can always reference, say the Iliad, or can always reference Charles Darwin. There's that substrate among all UD students that they're ready to talk about that. The professor doesn't have to say, and this fellow that's important for what we're about to talk about, okay, well here's like a 5-minute rundown. No, you've already read it. You're ready to go. You're set.
It's unbelievable to me that all these students have taken the same classes. I never experienced that in an undergraduate, I mean, maybe your roommate had this class, but probably not. So here, think about the conversation that stimulates, not just in the classroom, but in the dorm room. There's that desire to do something that has a long-standing tradition and is kind of out of the norm these days.
I remember I was at the cat bar one day and two of my friends and we got into this heated conversation about whether we liked Achilles or not. My friends were all in different classes, none of us have class together, none of us have the same lit trad professor, but we were all like, this is what I have to say about Achilles, and this is why, and this is what it tells me about virtue and how I want to live a virtuous life. It's neat that you can have those kinds of discussions just in the midst of everyday I want to go take a nap, or like, are you going to go work out before mass, stuff like that, you know?
In the world of Twitter, in the world of Facebook, in the world of email, there's very few places that ask their undergraduate students to engage as extensively and as seriously with the greatest thinkers of our past as we do here at the University of Dallas.
And so the classroom becomes a very exciting place and a dynamic place in a way that I don't think teaching could ever be for me at another institution.
The size of this institution is very, very important because the faculty get to know the individual natures of the students. The faculty have a responsibility to draw out that greater capacity than the students know that are there. Sometimes it's a painful process. The faculty are willing to subject students to that pain.
We know the students, and we do try to seek out to get to know them and to know what they're interested in, and to also to know and help them get through this curriculum.
If you think about it, professors are the leading speakers in the intellectual conversations and movements of today. And the UD professors bring you into this conversation and they say, what do you think, you know?
I feel like UD will give me the tools to be able to write well, to think well, to speak well, and to be a good person. So as I'm kind of, you know, touching on these things that are eternal and true, I feel like I'll be able to apply it to the rest of my life.
Freshman year, kind of like at the beginning, I was like, why am I taking, you know, philosophy when I'm going to be a business person? I'll never use this. And I actually had an internship this last summer at a Morgan Stanley company called Saxon. And at the end of it, they evaluated us, like the executives of the company evaluated us. And I was actually awarded the #1 intern. I give the credit to those, not just the business classes. I would say it's the philosophy, just thinking of the great books and you read Homer and stuff like that. I mean, you really does put you on a different level of thinking.
This is what life is all about, and the liberal arts aren't dead, and that search for trying to become as fully human as you possibly can be, that's alive and well, and it's something that you should pursue, and that when you do start to pursue it, you're going to love to pursue it.
There is a joy and intensity to the intellectual life connected to a joy and intensity to the spiritual life, which is just unique. I just don't know of any place else where that happens.
If the aim of your education is to discover the truth, doesn't it kind of make sense to do that in a place that is in line with the church that contains the fullness of the truth? It doesn't make sense to do it anywhere else.
I think what makes UD a unique Catholic university is it's really Catholic. We teach what the church teaches. We don't add to it. We don't subtract from it.
The University of Dallas, as a Catholic university, is very much a kind of embodiment of John Henry Newman's idea of a university. Everyone who teaches here, everyone who comes here, knows that they're looking for the truth. And that pursuit of the truth, in and of itself, that rational pursuit of the truth, is ultimately a pursuit of God. We treat our students here as adults. It is up to them, having encountered the truth, to respond with their own freedom. I love the fact that the University of Dallas presents the Catholic faith to the students primarily to their minds and leaves it very much to their freedom to respond.
So what I found at UD is that it's a place that fosters spiritual growth. You know, there are a lot of Catholic people here. There is a lot of great opportunity, but you are encouraged to find that in yourself and to find it and live it for yourself. And then you're encouraged by all these great friends and professors that you have here who also live the same faith. And you know, I see like my professors at daily mass along with my friends. It's totally encouraged me. Like if I went to a school that I was just like, I didn't have any Catholic friends, there was no like Catholic spirit about it, I mean, maybe I would come out okay, but I wouldn't come out as encouraged as I have here.
Your intellectual pursuits won't be cut off from your spiritual pursuits. And that's just something that I never imagined. I mean, I knew UD was Catholic and I knew UD was really good academically, but somehow those two have become so unified in my mind.
This university is informed by two of the long-standing traditions on this earth. The Western intellectual tradition and the Judeo-Christian tradition. A university will change you, and if you have the guidance of those two things, it's hard for one to go wrong.
When you're going to a Catholic liberal arts school, where else would you want to study abroad but the center of the church?
Everyone here is excited about something, but you don't really know what it is. You're kind of going with the flow. You're like, this is a strange place. I love it, but I still don't know what it is. And you go to Rome, where you learn in a real way what's at stake.
Well, the Rome program, the University of Dallas, it hosts a lot of its core curriculum classes here.
You're living your education. You're going and like seeing these things that you were studying about. You're living in a place basically where it all started. It just becomes alive and real.
The unity of the Rome term in the theology, in the philosophy, in the literature, illuminates the places.
The education that you get is a challenging education. You're kind of pushed out into the world, it feels. Someone's just kind of, coming from behind and saying, go, go explore, go find these different places in Rome where you can get a cheap cappuccino or where you find these ruins that you would have never found otherwise.
We protect and encourage students well here on one hand, but we also throw them into the depths of a foreign culture on the other hand. And so they have to look deep inside themselves and understand where they want to take it from here in their own education, their own religious development, their own context with their fellow men and women. And for a lot of reasons, this challenges them at the very core of their identity and makes them think really deeply about that. And a lot of people are changed as a result of that.
It just takes you to another level, and you won't expect it until you actually get there, and the hairs on the back of your neck start to tingle, and you're just like, what's going on? And then you realize, this is where it all started. This is Rome.
It was the minute I saw St. Peter's where it was like, I am so glad that I know what I know about this, because it makes it that much more special and important to me.
I guess what bonds everybody, all 100 people, is the things that you're learning and seeing that they do matter. Like you're seeing these things that you might never see again, and that you never even dreamed of doing. But it is true that it's the people that make it. It's being UDers together.
Friendships that you form here are really cohesive, because everyone's looking out for each other. I mean, you're in a foreign country. We're all American students, and we're all trying to find our way around here. So it's like you just pray for everyone, you watch out for everyone, and you just hope for the best.
You get back and you can share your experiences with all the people who are going to go there the next year, the next 2 years, and all the people who've already been there.
The community of UD is something that's so hard to express to someone who hasn't experienced it, because it's such a blast.
There's this really strange balance that I don't think happens at a whole lot of other places, where UD students are just really friendly and goofy and silly, but also really serious.
I never thought that I would have such wonderful, sincere, and deep friendships here. And like I said in the beginning, the community here is really what has made this experience, I think, so pleasant and wonderful to me, because it encapsulates, Rome, academics, and faith is what your friendships here are founded upon. It's all things that are true and beautiful.
The students here are, by and large, really interested in living a meaningful life. I mean, that's not to say that students here don't have fun. Certainly UD students know to have fun.
There's an excitement for life that permeates everything you do here. It makes staying up all night studying for an exam worth it. It makes that even fun sometimes. It makes celebrating after you're done with an exam even better. This force that's driving you, and I think it's the security of what you're doing is a direct participation in the good, the true, the beautiful. To get big and philosophical about it, but then obviously you're not going to be hanging out with your friends or going into Dallas with your friends or going off to your favorite restaurant that you found and saying, oh, well, this is me participating in the good. It's you having a great time with your pals, with your buds, your chums, your bros, It's you going to a rugby game and watching your team, or sitting around until 3 talking with your best friends about whatever it is that pops up, about what you think is important at the time, and thinking that's time well spent, because it is. It is time well spent, and This is 4 years well spent, and not just in the classroom, not just outside of the classroom, but everywhere.
The distance in time, this undoing knowledge, where your world is only seen in your mind, can look like a mess. I was laughing every